the Superdome, the Nokia Sugar Bowl Prep Classic 1A state championship game between the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes and the Kittens of Southern Lab. Doug Joubert with Renee Nadeau here. Renee, this is a big one. This is for all the marbles and a couple of unbeaten teams meeting for the championship.
Haynesville 14-0, Southern Lab 13-0, Doug. And I tell you what, Haynesville outscored their opponents this year 6-16-33. Southern Lab is no slouch, though. 36 points per game. They're very aggressive, quick, very talented, and they got some great players on both sides of the ball.
Well, let's go ahead and start on the Haynesville side of the ball with Eric Langford, the quarterback.
Eric Langford, he's a quarterback. He's a trigger man. He's all district in football, baseball, basketball, and track. He runs that vaunted wing tee attack, and he's an avid golfer on the side. He's great, and you'll see a lot of him this afternoon.
On the Southern Lab side, this is a guy that everybody wants, Marcus Spears.
He is the man, number 84. He's being recruited heavily by a number of schools, Florida State, Texas, Texas A&M, LSU, among others. But I tell you what, Doug, you'll see him on both sides of the ball, 4.740. He is nominated for the Gatorade National Player of the Year. And boy, I tell you what, it's going to be a lot to hold him down today.
Let's go to the sidelines now where Tim Van Guy is standing by. Tim?
Thank you, guys. Renee, you mentioned how tough Haynesville's defense is. Well, they're coming into tonight's game with a 10-game shutout streak. Now, to put that in perspective, the last time that the Haynesville defense gave up a point was September 22nd. That's 40 quarters and 2.5 months of stellar defense.
The 1A state championship game, Haynesville and Southern Lab, coming up at the Nokia Sugar Bowl Prep Classic.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean wide with foam, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Everyone, please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem to be performed a cappella by Mr. Tim Winter of Haynesville.
What so proudly waved at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through is fine. O'er the ramparts we watched, they were so gallantly strewn. And lights to red, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Special thanks from the LHSAA to Mr. Earl Taylor and Mr. Tim Winter. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll turn your attention to midfield for the presentation to be made by the Nokia Sugar Bowl. The Louisiana High School Athletic Association is proud to have the Nokia Sugar Bowl serve as the title sponsor of the high school football championships, the Nokia Sugar Bowl Prep Classic. We'd like to welcome at midfield Mr. Richard Smith, representing the Sugar Bowl, and he is chairman of the Prep Classic Committee. Mr. Smith will be presenting the 2000 Principals Awards, recognizing the two principals from the participating teams. First, from Southern Lab High School, Principal Miss Brenda Sterling. And from Haynesville High School, Principal Mr. Kenneth Henderson. The LHSAA would like to thank the Nokia Sugar Bowl for their sponsorship of this year's state football championships, and thanks to Mr. Richard Smith. Also at midfield, the presentation of the Sports Care Coaches Awards. Sports Care of Louisiana recognizes the two participating coaches in the state championships. At midfield, representing Sports Care of Louisiana, Miss Tiffany Carter. The first award goes to Southern Lab head coach Eric Rando. The second 2000 Coaches Award goes to Haynesville head coach Red Franklin. The LHSAA would like to thank Sports Care of Louisiana and the Nokia Sugar Bowl. Also thanks to Southern Quality Ford Dealers, presenting sponsor of this year's state championships, for their support of high school athletics. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Kittens and the Golden Tornado for all the marbles. Are you ready to rumble?
Haynesville and Southern Lab in the 1A state championship game here in the Superdome, the Nokia Sugar Bowl Prep Classic. Haynesville Golden Tornadoes have won the toss and elected to defer until the second. Let me correct myself. They will receive here. They'll be doing so to our left. And we're underway with the state championship game. Great move by Moses outside getting near the 38-yard line, which is where they'll take over the Kittens 1st and 10 after a 23-yard return.
As we talked about, this is a young, talented, aggressive team, Southern Lab. And well, I tell you what, Haynesville has certainly shown they can do it, shutting out 10 of their opponents this past season, outscoring them 6-16 to 33, but maybe not facing too many teams with the likes of Southern Lab.
Southern Lab's offense in the backfield, Gerald Barrow, along with Terrence Moses and Jeffrey Stampley. On the outside, Plummer and Fisher. Across the front line, Hollins, Christoph, Davis, and Spencer. 1st and 10, up the middle, Moses. Breaking things, he's at the 50. Good move to the outside. And 4 of the Golden Tornado hunt him down near the 30-yard line. There is a flag down at the line of scrimmage as Brandon Robinson brings him down. But there is a flag right at the line, clipping against, looks like the Tornado. Nope, it's against Southern Lab.
It shows what kind of explosiveness that Southern Lab does have as Moses breaks out into the secondary, Doug. He's got 4.6 speed, but he's got that afterburner overdrive gear.
We had a clipping on white. Repeat first.
Moses with over 1,500, in fact, 1,574 yards for the season, 13 going for touchdowns. But, you know, he's got that overdrive extra gear and something that Haynesville is certainly going to be cognizant of.
Haynesville defense across the front line. Winter, Gia, Bowman, and Washington. The linebackers, Bean, Jackson, and Sims. Defensive backfield, Fields, Robinson, Gilmore, and the other Robinson. Now 1st and forever, and a little bit tall in the pass, as Barrow's pass intended for Justin Plummer, incomplete. One name I did not get to mention on the offensive front, and I apologize, and that's Marcus Spears, and that's the guy that this man's going to have to be looking for.
Red Franklin, wow, 354 victories. He's been involved in 10 state titles, 13 at Haynesville total, Doug, but he is the Grand Master up in that part of the state. Of course, I guess J.T. Curtis rivals him down in this area, but Red Franklin, what an outstanding gentleman he is, and done a great job for prep football in and around the state.
2nd down, 22. Fumble. Ball's loose. Tornadoes are trying to say they have it, but not. Kittens did recover. And that's another loss on the play for the Kittens, who are moving backwards. Coached by Eric Randall.
You know, the thing about Haynesville, Doug, defensively, they don't do anything real trickery or anything like that. They just play solid defense. They have their responsibilities. They play a 4-3 shade over a little bit, but they all have responsibilities and know what they are. They're so good at it, and their athletes are very well and really in place to play where they are, but there's no trickery about Haynesville.
8-yard loss. 3rd down and 30. Back to throw. The blitz is on. Got him before he can release the ball, and it falls incomplete. On the blitz was Cardo Bean, who came up and did a good job of just unloading.
Credit Sims with a rush from the outside as well. Kind of got in his face a little bit and got the line of fire. The angle he had just kind of prevented him from finding his receiver. Good look at Eric Randall as he greets his quarterback Barrow on the sideline.
So 4th down and 30 coming up. And the punting unit has to come on for Southern Lab. Marcus Spears to punt. He does everything. End over ender. Looking for the return. Terrence got some room. Near side. Pulled down. That's Terrence Moses on the return. Let me correct myself on that. Sheriff Fields, as Curtis Sims comes up to make the tackle. So the Golden Tornado take over 1st and 10 after that nice return by Fields. Here's the offense. Langford is your quarterback. Hampton, James, Bean, and then Hill and Robinson on the outside. We'll check the offensive line there. Winter, Bowman, Hicks, Sims, and Evans. 1st and 10. Nothing fancy. Sweep. That's Bean. Hit in the backfield. Marcus Spears. Hello. This kid is being looked for by everybody. Gerald Evans also on the tackle. Let's take a look at the defensive side of things for the Kittens of Southern Lab. Connor, Spears on the outside. Connor, Sims, and Hurst across the front, along with Johnson. Your linebackers, Tucker and Stampley. Evans and Jones, your corners, and Miles and Harris at the safeties. Loss of 2, second down and 12. The ball spotted at the 28-yard line. We have 9:53 to go in this first quarter, no score. Back to throw now, Langford. Under pressure and sacked. Marcus Spears around his ankles. Why do I have a funny feeling we're going to hear his name a lot? Also, Darrell Hurst is there, along with Raylan Johnson, a 12-yard loss.
You know, the thing about Marcus Spears, Doug, is that he is an All-American in baseball and football, and we mentioned in the pregame he's a nominee for the Gatorade Player of the Year. Is number 84. He plays tight end and defensive end, and yes, you're right, he's all over the field.
9:16 to go and counting. Split backfield behind your quarterback Langford, who's sacked right there. On the misdirection, nice little give and go. Cedric James flags flies. He gets up near the original line of scrimmage at the 26. But the way that one was thrown, it looks like it's probably going to come back. Chris Barber comes up to make that tackle from his safety position.
James in excess of 1,000 yards on the season is a leading rusher for the Tornado. And you see it right there as getting ready to shoot the gap is Harris Tucker, number 33. And that wing T offense is some tough to defense against, Doug.
There was the face mask right there. You saw it.
Big Keyshawn Connor is all 6'4", 301 pounds of him.
Oof. Tall kid. 301. Wide kid. Face mask penalty brings the ball to near the 21-yard line, where it'll still be 4th down, but 4th down and 5 after the penalty. Correction on that, 3rd down. 3rd down and 5 because of the penalty.
Outstanding about Haynesville, Doug, is unscored upon and 158 points to 0 in the playoffs. What an outstanding record Coach Franklin does.
The split backfield on the misdirection. Not much there to begin with, and there still isn't. There was just nowhere to go. Ernika O'Connor is the man who came up to make that stop. Also, Keyshawn Connor in there. So 4th down and 5, and you're going to probably see a field goal attempt here.
Good look right there at Connor. You know, he's 6'4", 300. LSU, Texas A&M, Florida State, and Auburn are looking at this man-child. Wow, he's just a
big
man
kid.
in a body, but he's going to be something special on the next level. He's got great technique, and Doug, he's already got the body. You can't coach that.
Eric Langford, your quarterback, is also your field goal kicker. This one to be spotted outside the 29. A 39-yarder, plenty of distance. Got it. And the Golden Tornadoes are the first ones to draw blood with 7:48 to go in the first quarter of play. Haynesville with a 3-0 lead over Southern Lab in this 1A state championship game. A lot of emotion as expected here in this Superdome, and this is the kind of game where you sit back and you say, this is for all the marbles. And we've seen them all the rest of this year. You know, the way things work, it's phenomenal the way these kids and these fans all come behind each other. I believe there may be a flag, by the way, during that field goal. We'll have to wait and see. There is a flag.
So do you take points off the board?
Personal foul running into the kicker. That's going to go against Southern Lab. So there's a question. Do you take it?
He's going to.
This guy's been coaching long enough.
Yeah. I think he knows. After 354 victories, I would think he's been in this situation before. You know, the thing is that these games, Doug, you know, you and I have seen so many of these games. They go so quickly. It's important for your team to get on the scoreboard first and kind of get that momentum swinging towards you and let the other team have to play catch-up.
Langford, your quarterback, with a split backfield behind him. Man on the wing far side. Take the 3 off the board now. It's 1st and 10 from the 11. Nice sweep to the near side. Quincy Hampton inside the 10. Down near the 6. Make it the 7. So a gain of 4 on the play. Jeffrey Stampley comes up to make the tackle.
Hampton's that between the tackles guy, a little big, 5'10", 210 pounds, a senior, and he bounces it outside. Got pretty good ability, but Southern had 9 men in the box. They were ready for it.
2nd down We'll call it 6. The ball spotted at the 7. Off the right side, hit and dropped after a 2-yard gain is Cedric James. Up near the 5 as well there, Market. Up that time is Jeffrey Stampley, along with Darrell Hurst off the bottom of the stack.
Darrell Hurst came crashing in from his defensive tackle position. Not real big, Doug, 6'2", 220, but he's got 126 stops on the season. And listen to this, 18 and a half sacks. He's all over the place.
18 and a half sacks?
Yes.
In high school, it's almost unheard of.
Yes, but he's all over the place. He'll play outside linebacker the next level. We'll talk about some of the schools looking at him.
3rd down and 4. We'll try the misdirection near side. Got some room and a touchdown for Cardo Bean. 5-yard touchdown run on the misdirection sweep to the near side.
That was a little misdirection. That wing T offense is so tough to defense, and that's Cardo Bean going across. Boy, I tell you what a talent he is. 6 feet, 175, and fits right into that wing back position. Following, this is why it's important to have great lead. Wow, good block right there by Nick Evans. Kick out, allowing him off his inside shoulder, skirting for the touchdown.
Took the points off the board, so maybe it did work, huh? And the extra point is up and good. 6:34 to go, first quarter of play. The 3 points come off the board, and they exchange it for a touchdown instead. Golden Tornadoes take a 7-0 lead over Southern Lab in this 1A state championship game. .634 to go, first quarter of play. The Golden Tornadoes took the 3 points off and then put the touchdown back on. Tim Van Guy on the sideline. Tim?
It's an interesting generation, Captain. I guess you're
.634 to go, first quarter. We'll get back to Tim in just a little bit. As the Golden Tornadoes get to kick off for the second time. Moses says, no, you take it. And it is taken. Albert Turner, wow. Oh my. That was a nice little welcome there by Jimmy Washington, huh? 20 yards on the return.
Looks like one of those left a bicycle in the driveway, Doug. Didn't see it.
Didn't see it, boom. This time somebody was on the bicycle, though, huh?
Yeah, as he returns this, he's going to run into an old oak tree at City Park. Bang!
Ooh.
Lights out.
Hear the crowd in the background reacting to that. 1st and 10 on the delay, Moses. Oh, nice hole. Across the 30, near the 34. Gain of 8, maybe 9. Make it 9 on the play. As Alonzo Jackson comes up to make the stop.
Moses, great explosion, Doug. I like this guy. He follows his shoulder pads, running right behind a gaping hole opened up right there by Stampley. He doesn't get brought down too easily, but I tell you what, he will not get tackled on the first contact.
And there's Stampley on the run across the left side, cutting back to the right, picking up 8 up near the 42. Maybe even give him the 43 before it's all said and done. But that's a first down for the Southern Lab Kittens. Coming into this, the number 3 ranked team in LSWA. No huddle. Barrow under center. On the delay, Moses. Bang! Hit right as Crease crosses the 45, up near the 47-yard line. Brian Sims, the man to meet him up high. Gain of 4.
And that defense, not real big, Doug, but real quick. I guess the biggest up front is Bowman, number 76 right there. He's 265. He's going to be playing somewhere the next level next year. But mostly guys just very talented. And speaking of Bowman, Texas A&M and Louisiana Tech, along with ULL, are certainly monitoring his progress, and he'll make an outstanding prospect. 6'3.5", 265.
Second down, 6 after the gain of 4. They're 0-47. Barrow in the shotgun instead, delay handoff, but hold on. I believe that somebody moved. 5:29 to go, first quarter. Illegal procedure called against Southern Lab.
Dead ball, false start on the offense.
The 5-yard penalty will back it up a yard beyond the original line of scrimmage, so a second down 11. That's the 5th penalty against Southern Lab for 32 yards.
Doug, when you get a good shot at Red Franklin, the headmaster at Haynesville, The offensive line of Southern averaging 263 pounds. We'll talk about a couple of size. Number 73, if you get a wide shot, you can see him from Cleveland.
You're going to need a wide shot, right? Barrow back to throw under pressure now. Throws it to nobody. There was somebody out there in Moses, but the officials say he's close enough to call that not call it grounding. And so it'll be a 3rd down and 11 from their 42 now.
Cardo Bean was out in the area. Had he found his mark, good look right there, 73. I understand his birthday is April 4th, 5th, and 6th.
I knew that was coming for some reason.
6'7", and they say 325. I think they're being kind.
325.
He had a weigh-in at the truck scale on the way down here. He is big. Grambling, Mississippi Valley, and Alcorn are looking at him. He loses a few pounds, 310 or so. He'll be more comfortable. Wow, he'll just bury the defensive players.
Little tall on the pass intended for Justin Plummer from Jared Barrow. Incomplete. So a 4th down and 11 coming up. Golden Tornadoes hanging on to that 7-0 lead. So far, Barrow is 0 for 4 in the passing department.
Eric Randall, was a quarterback at Southern University. Also Glen Oaks right there. Good look at him. He graduated from Glen Oaks in '92. What a great job he does. Only 26 years old, Doug, and led his team here to the 1A state finals. He's got a great future in the coaching ranks.
Spears on to punt. His last one a 34-yarder. This one an end-over-ender. Up near the 30-yard line, and finally run down there is Cardo Bean. On the tackle was Larry Clark. So a 1st and 10 for the Golden Tornadoes at their own, just shy of their own 32-yard line. Double wing set now for your quarterback. On the sweep to the short side of the field, that's Cedric James. He'll get 5, maybe a little more. Jeffrey Stampley comes up to make the tackle right around the 36-yard line. So it's a gain of 4. 2nd down, 6 coming up.
You know, Eric Langford, very impressed with him. Very cerebral guy, Doug. He's got a 3.5 GPA, the quarterback, all district in baseball, football, track, and basketball, and he's an avid golfer on the side. Hands off out here. He recognizes things very well. They allow him to check off, and he gives off to the wingback. Cedric James does a good job picking up a nice on 1st down.
I formation, Cedric James, 1st down run. Up near the 47 is where they'll mark it. Gain of 11 on the play. Quentin Harris has to come up from his weak side safety position to make the stop.
And James just running with good vision, running behind the tackles. Good surge, watch. Good pop right here from the offensive line as they come off and give him an opportunity. Good cross blocking right here and giving him the opportunity. That was the prior play. But it was good surge on the play when he ran for a 1st down. And I tell you what, right now, Haynesville is beginning to take over that offensive front.
In the backfield, instead of delay, there's Quincy Hampton across midfield. I'll spit it out. Up near the 40-yard line. Gain of 12, maybe 13. What a beautiful job of thinking, because I was looking for Langford to hand it off to the near side to James, but instead Hampton was going right up the gut.
That was very adept ball handling by Langford. And
thanks for covering for me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That was nice of you.
2-year starter and does a good job. And we talked about he checks off a little bit. He won't throw a lot. Haynesville will not throw maybe 5, 6, half dozen times a game.
Well, I thought
That's
that was
so strong on the ground.
With Red Franklin, I think that'd be 5 or 6, 7 times a year maybe. On the run, Quincy Hampton gets 3 off the right side as he crosses the 40 up near the 37. Ernika O'Kammer is the man that came in and make the stop. 10 state titles for this team right here under Red Franklin.
Yeah, and he came here in 1966. Really done an outstanding job, and a great builder of character as well. And a lot of young men have come through here and gone on successful careers elsewhere. And they were all credit Coach Franklin with leading them and making good decisions.
2nd down, 7. On the sweep, hitting the backfield, breaking a tackle. Good job by Bean. He'll pick up another yard. Should have been dropped in the backfield. Marcus Spears hit him early, Gerald Evans finishes them off after a gain of 1.
Good look at Marcus Spears right there. Talk about him. You know, his specialty, of course, he does a good job at tight end. But, you know, the teams that are recruiting him, Texas, Florida State, and LSU, have given him his choice where he wants to play, what side of the ball. Texas A&M likes him on defense, and this is why. Got a hand right there on the running back and the wing back, Bean, which helped his teammates. He slowed him down in order for his teammates to make the tackle. 3rd and about 5, Doug.
Just shy of the 35. Man in motion, that's Bean. Stepping offside. One of the Kittens, so looks like we're going to have to go ahead and back this one 5 yards. It's going to be very close to the first down when they mark it off. They'll be about a half a yard shy. 2:04 to go, first quarter of play. The Golden Tornadoes with the ball and with a 7-0 lead.
You know, one thing that Southern does good, and you may be able to tell as the day goes on, you know, they got a lot of their players, great athletes up front, good first step. And if they can fill where that pulling guard vacates and fill that gap, they'll stop this offense or slow it down quite a bit. Now, they have to guess right, but the thing is, if they fill those gaps, those interior linemen, that's something that they have to do in order to make this successful.
Need to talk about that Southern Lab team, too, in just a minute. You talked about how impressive those athletes were. 3rd down and less than a yard. Right side, first down run by Quincy Hampton across the 30, up near the 29 for a gain of close to 3. So you were saying beforehand that Southern Lab, what you're impressed with the athletes on this team. And this is a big kid right here, but I'm talking about the kids in the defensive backfield and how athletic those kids are.
Yeah, in fact, all on the team basically, and that's one of them right there, number 1, Quentin Harris. But the thing is that Southern Lab has been to the championship in basketball 3 of the last 4 years and done a great job. A lot of those athletes who play basketball on the hardwood are playing today. Now, it's a different sport, Doug, but athletically, those hips, the way they turn, vertical jump, things like that, they're performing out here, and this is one big reason why the Kittens are in the Superdome.
Near side, Cedric James, big hole across the 20, up near the 16. Brought down there by the guy we mentioned a moment ago, Quentin Harris. But boy, that was a nice little hole. But Cedric James did a good job of not seeing anything up the middle, so he broke it to the outside.
And that's vision. That's just talent. You know, you can't coach that type of thing. You know, in a game when the lights go on, the athletes have to know how to adjust to things. And, you know, there's nothing like game preparation, really. And then he just read his blockers very well. That's being familiar with his blockers. But he had a nice hole where, you know, he skated through for a first down.
And the timeout call by Southern Lab as they try to stop the Golden Tornadoes before they get back into the end zone again. 7-0. Golden Tornadoes with the lead over Southern Lab in this 1A state championship game.
Wendy's High School Heisman recognizes seniors who excel in academics, athletics, and citizenship.
Now let's meet our Wendy's High School Heisman State finalists.
Adam Pryor, LSU Labski, Holly D'Amico, Buras High School, Lacey Rodriguez, Johnson Bayou High School, Joseph Bullock, Lakeview High School, Allie Nichols, Cotton Valley High School. For updates on the 2000 Wendy's High School Heisman program, tune in to your local stations.
So the Golden Tornadoes on offense, rushing back down there. You see the Southern Lab Kittens there of Coach Eric Randall. Now, you take a timeout in basketball in order to stop the momentum of the other team. Is this maybe what happened here?
Similar, yeah. You kind of regroup a little bit. This is what's happening. This is why it's happening, perhaps. But, you know, it's getting back to responsibility again. Reason why Haynesville has had some success, to give them credit, is they're performing. They're following through in their blocks and running well. If the Kittens defense goes back, they need to not necessarily regroup and change anything, but just follow through with their responsibilities and what they were out here and what they are supposed to be doing. And if they follow through with those things, perhaps they can stop this drive or slow them down a little bit. But Southern Lab has the athletes to compete, Doug, I'll tell you.
Right up the gut. Hampton carrying people with him inside the 10, down to the 6. Gain of 8, maybe 9. Darrell Hurst hanging on for dear life. Tim Van Guy back down on the field. He's been playing with that microphone. You got it working now, Tim?
Yeah, guys, I think I do. Just to give y'all a little something about the two coaches. This game features two coaches with a very interesting generation gap. Haynesville head coach Red Franklin started coaching in 1966. That's 8 years before Southern Lab head coach Eric Randall was even born. Let's send it back to you guys.
I'm sure Red doesn't mind people talking about his age. Second man through, banging into people across the 5. He'll have a first down at the 4-yard line. Cedric James with a 3-yard run. Stampley again hanging on to him, but he gets a good head of steam, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and he's runs behind those pads. Does a great job of borrowing his way.
Hold on, let me write that down.
Let me try that 4 times.
Borrowing
his way into the goal. Red Franklin has been out here for 34 years, but he failed to tell you he was coaching when he was 7. He started that job.
You being nice, aren't you?
Yeah.
The first quarter has come to an end. We've played 12. The Golden Tornadoes have scored a touchdown. The Kittens have not gotten on the board yet, but hold on. Tors may be doing it again in just a moment. It's 7-0 Haynesville over Southern Lab in the 1A state championship game. The second quarter of play with Golden Tornadoes first and goal at the 3-yard line of Southern Lab. Motion in the backfield. We'll stop this one before it ever gets started, essentially. Somebody leaned a little early on the left side in the backfield for the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes. Louisiana High School Athletic Association thanks State Farm Insurance and its Louisiana State Farm agents. State Farm sponsors all state championship trophies and awards in all 23 sports of the LHSAA.
Doug, some quick stats. First quarter, supply does by Steve.
Procedure on the offense.
Didn't he know you were talking?
That's nerve. Excuse me. Steve Joubert giving us a quick stats in the first quarter. 70 yards rushing for Haynesville and 12 yards for the Kittens. Penalties 5 for 37 for the Kittens. No penalties for Haynesville as of yet.
Right then, that was the first one. You're right. On the sweep to the near side, Cedric James maybe a yard up near the 8, and that's about all. Good job of penetration by the Kittens' Jared Miles, who came up and made the stop. Could be Gerard. We talk about the state titles that the Golden Tornadoes have won since Ren Franklin's been there, 10 of them. I don't know if you realize, if you go back, they've been in the state championship 20 times. This is their 20th time to be in the state championship game. Second and goal from the 8. James again busting into the middle, but he runs into a big brick wall that's made of nothing but kittens. Darrell Hurst, one of the men off the bottom of the stack to bring him down.
We talked a little bit about him a little while ago. 126 stops. Doug, an unbelievable 44 tackles for loss this year. He's being looked at by Tulane, Miami, Grambling, Southern, McNeese, and SMU. They're looking at him as an outside linebacker, good speed, 4'6". Talked about his sacks, unbelievable, 18.5 sacks on the season. He's probably the best player on defense, athletic, very, very athletic. Good look at Connor right there as well, number 77.
Third down and goal from the 7. Fields in motion, back to throw for a rare pass. Langford hit, got it. Inside the 5, stopped at the 3 is Bean. Gain of 4. Johnny Jones over there to make the stop, but it'll be 4th and goal from the 3. Now, the last time they had a 4th down inside the 20, kicked a field goal, did the Golden Tornadoes, but then a roughing the kicker penalty backed things up, and they took the 3 points off and got the 7.
And it proved to be a wise move. That was a good play just now as Marcus Spears peeled back. But something else about this defense, we're talking about Haynesville. Southern Lab, their defense has 18 interceptions and 54 sacks on the season. They're all over the place.
Whoa.
Haynesville gets most of the credit for a great defense, but don't discount Southern Lab.
Haynesville going for it on 4th and goal from the 3, and I believe they were running out of time, so the Tors had to take a timeout. 9:39 to go in the first half. Tornadoes threatening up 7-0 over Southern Lab in this 1A state championship game. So it's 4th down and goal from the 3, and those guys right there with their backs to you are going to have to try to see what they can do about putting another touchdown on the board, already leading 7-0 over the Southern Lab Kittens. There's Marcus Spears. Wow, that's a good-looking kid. I mean, he just is. People are drooling. You mentioned Texas and a few other schools, but you know what? I have a funny feeling anybody would want him.
Something I want to mention about him too. He's He's the president of he was the president of the Youth Achievement Investors as a sophomore. He was a leader in that school as a sophomore. So he's not just a great athlete. People follow Marcus Spears.
4th down and goal. The Tours at the 3-yard line of the Kittens of Southern Lab. Blandford brings him up. Double wing set. Single receiver to the near side is Robinson. You can't see him. On the sweep, looking for the end zone. It won't get there. Fields hit in the backfield by Erneka Okamer. Loss on the play back near the 8.
And they brought the house that time as Spears shows his way of congratulating the young freshman. He is a freshman.
6'2", what, 215, 220?
He will be special. He already is getting there. Look at the athletes just converge. And Okama, how's he say his name?
I said Erneka. Let me see. Where is he? There he is. Erneka Okamer is how I said it. That's how I said it.
I apologize. He is an outstanding athlete, will be even better. His best football is ahead of him.
1st and 10, their own 7. Eye backfield behind your quarterback, Barrow. May have dropped the ball when it was snapped from center, and he recovers his own fumble. Gain of, actually lost about a yard. Nah, put it right back at the 7-yard line. No gain.
You know, when you look at their defense makes a big stop, and you want to capitalize on that right now. You haven't seen much passing thus far, at least from Southern Lab. Well, you know, when you say that you look at all the athletes, you think they'd be throwing every down and things, but you know, I expect to see them get Spears involved a little bit in maybe a short passing game.
3 receivers set now for the Kittens on the 2nd down and 10. And off up the gut, breaking tackles. His Stampley's across the 15 up near the 16-yard line. Gain of 9. He'll be about a yard shy of the 1st down. Boy, good job by Stampley, who was stuck at the line of scrimmage and just broke to the outside and was able to get past that 4-3 lineup.
That's his specialty, Doug. In fact, he gained 15 pounds over the summer and lost no speed. He runs really hard. Good side step right here, allowing the blockers to get up ahead of him. And he just broke 3 or 4 tackles early in his run here and just was running downhill. Nice pickup. It's 3rd and short.
At their own 11-yard line. Barrow sends people all over the place. Now essentially a single set. Now they'll go back into an eye. Only 3 seconds on the play clock. They got it off. Oh my. This one didn't work from the beginning. May get the 1st down after all, and by Moses, but he's going to be about a half a yard shy of that 1st down. There was just nowhere to go. Jimmy Washington, one of those to make the stop.
Good look right there at Moses. And, you know, Moses is just a junior, Doug, but believe it or not, LSU, Florida State, Nebraska, and Tennessee are watching him, just a junior, and hoping he'll choose their university next year. But he was bottled up right there and gathered in, and now you're facing a 4th and short, and wow.
You're going to go for it here at your own 18? Or maybe try to draw them off?
That shows a lot of confidence in your offense if they do go for it. But gutsy would be an understatement.
Let's see. They figure, hey, the Saints did it, we can do it too. They're going to try to draw them off. Timeout called. They didn't get the play off. They called the timeout. Now there was a flag drop by the back judge way back here. But I believe the officials at the line are going to say, no. They called it before the 25 seconds had run out. 7:29 to go in this 1st half. The Tours on top still 7-0 over Southern Lab. This the 1A state championship game. Last 2 punts by Marcus Spears have been 36 and 34 yards. This will be his 3rd of the afternoon. Or are they going to go for it anyway?
Wow.
Well, they're acting like they're going for it. Let's put it that way. They are going for it.
They got it.
And they did get it. That is gutsy. 4th down and about a half a yard at your own 17-yard line, and your quarterback sneaking for a 1st down. Like I said, if the Saints can do it, why can't you, right?
Eric Randall's probably wearing a vest right now. He's a riverboat gambler. He's, you know, to go for that and get it.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy. Loaded for dice. Eric, good call.
What if he'd have missed it?
You should have punted.
1st and 10 at their own 19. Gutsy call. Sometimes that can swing a game your way.
Yes.
Man in motion to the near side. And that's handed off to that man in motion, who's Albert Turner. He won't get much. Up near the 22, he stood up after a gain of 3. Sheriff Fields, the man over there defensively, to bang him around.
Turner won't touch the ball very often, but he's the fastest on this Kitten team, running about a 4.4 40, Doug. And good seal block right there, but the cornerbacks came up to make the stop. Good play right there as Shara Fields comes from his right cornerback position to put the brakes on him.
Gain of 3, second down, 7 at their own 22. 2 receivers split way out there beyond your screen. 1 to the near side. Now Barrow backs off, may have changed the play. Man in motion. Fake. To Spears, knocked away behind Spears. Ball intended for Marcus, but Brandon Robinson stepped in from his safety position and was right on Marcus. Brown now 0 for 5 in passing.
Well, you knew it wasn't going to be long before they looked for Spears, and he's got the advantage in a 6'5", 270-pound tight end, but Brandon Gilmore stepped up and, Brandon Robinson stepped up, made a good stop. But he gives away a couple of inches. He's a 6'2", 175-pound free safety.
That's a good-sized kid.
But he's a basketball player, so they match up pretty good there.
I said Brown a moment ago. I meant Barrow is 0 for 5 throwing. 3rd down, 7. Back to throw again. Barrow under pressure, looking long, got a man out there. Great defense. That's Robinson who comes up and makes the play. Oh my, you could not have guarded Alton Fisher much better than what he did.
They were wearing the same pair of underwear, Doug. He just could not get any closer than this. And this is the Haynes briefs. This is a tight one. This was a great play. Pass intended for Fisher, and what an outstanding play that Draper Robinson just swatted away again. He's another superstar basketball, track, and of course he excels at quarterback.
Spears back to punt. He's hit 2 for an average of 35. Line of scrimmage is the 22. No pressure. High wobbler. Gathered in there at the 42. Got some room. The 40, 35, and a flag flies at the line of scrimmage, original line of scrimmage. On the return was Sheriff Fields. But there was a flag drop right at the line. Illegal procedure. Make up your mind. There you go. That one will be rejected. 37 yards to the punt.
Procedure on the offense. Did not have 7 on the line of scrimmage. Decline. Haynesville's football.
Haynesville's. That guy right there is in Haynesville's.
Smile, Coach.
He is. Look at him.
And what a
he's a happy guy.
He's done such a great job.
Oh yeah.
To get back here and to put up the numbers that Coach Franklin has done. He's got some good athletes, but boy, I'll tell you have to organize this whole thing.
1st and 10 at the 33. Hold everything. There's flags down. Somebody was in the neutral zone. Ray Pratt is saying it's legal procedure, false start. Let's see.
We had a dead ball, false start on the offense.
Wait, that would be traveling, wouldn't it?
Well, the snap count was on 3. He moved on 2.
Gotcha.
He arrived in a huddle a little late, but Flante Hill, tight end, young sophomore.
So it backs it up. 5 yards, 1st down, 15 now for the Golden Tornadoes, and a timeout has to be taken. There was only 2 seconds left on the play clock. 5:54 to go, second quarter of play, and the Golden Tornadoes use their second timeout of this first half. Up by a 7-0 count. LHSAA would like to thank also the Southern Quality Ford dealers, presenting sponsor of the LHSAA State Championship events and sponsor of the Louisiana High School Athletic Association All Sports Award, the Southern Quality Ford Cup, and the Nokia Sugar Bowl, the title sponsor of the Nokia Sugar Bowl Prep Classic and major sponsor of all LHSAA events.
What a pleasure and honor it is for us, Doug, to be here doing these games and witnessing these outstanding athletes. You look back over the years we've done these games, and some of the outstanding athletes have moved on to perhaps the NFL, but there's a lot of doctors and lawyers that have played in these games. And a couple of Indian chiefs.
Only 2, though.
Yeah.
Only 2. Riverboat captains were part of that also.
Man, I had a chance to visit with Eric Randall this week, and what a great family man he is. And had a chance to talk with his mom, who's been through every step of his successful career with him. Got a lot of support, and he deserves to be here. And again, 26 years old, has a bright future in the game of football.
1st and 15 for the Golden Tornadoes at the 38-yard line of Southern Lab. Almost jumped off sides. They did jump off sides. Keyshawn Connor, I believe, was in that area that you're not supposed to be in. But did somebody on the other side move first, you think? The Kittens or the Golden Tornadoes?
I'd say the Kittens may have moved earlier.
Okay.
We had a dead ball, encroachment on the defense.
That's the 6th penalty for Southern Lab for 42 yards. If there has been a negative so far for Southern Lab, it's been that they've been penalized a lot. There's only 2 penalties against Haynesville for 10 yards.
Good look at the defensive wall right there, right across. That's some beef there, buddy.
Yeah, 301, 270, 270. The smallest guy's 220. He's the little boy. Back to throw, a rare one downfield, has a man, and a touchdown to Cardo Bean. Langford with a super fake into the line, 33 yards and a touchdown.
He ran a streak, and Cardo Bean collects it in over his shoulders. Great faking, kind of froze the linebackers and somewhat confused the defensive backs, as allowing Bean to get open.
He had his choice, though.
Streaking down the field right here and got past Gerald Evans.
Falante Hill, by the way, was open down the middle. Did you notice that?
He had a choice.
Yeah.
So for a 33-yard touchdown scoring strike.
Langford now for the extra point. Up and good. And with 5:46 to go in the first half of play, the Golden Tornadoes are up by a 14-0 count over Southern Lab in the 1A state championship game.
Wendy's High School Heisman recognizes seniors who excel in academics, athletics, and citizenship.
Now let's meet our Wendy's High School Heisman State finalists.
Andrew Baer, St. Paul School. Christy Bridges, North Lake Christian School. Guy Lafort, South Lafourche High School. Samikia Lewis, Academy of the Sacred Heart. Kristen Troxglare, St. Thomas Aquinas High School. For updates on the 2000 Wendy's High School Heisman program, tune in to your local stations.
A 2-touchdown lead off of this pass from Langford to Cardo Bean.
And they have connected a few times, and this is just one of those many from the 2000 season that goes for 33 yards on the score, putting the Golden Tornado up 14-0 at the 5:46 mark in the second stanza. And Southern Lab is beginning to, that hill is beginning to look a little steeper.
Yeah, it is. You're right. By the way, Langford has thrown 2 passes, completed both to Bean. A little short and aiming for the out-of-bounds line. Nice catch by the guy on the sideline. So starting at the 35-yard line or re-kick it.
I guess this series, Southern Lab is hoping to get back and turn things around a little bit.
We had illegal procedure on the kicking team.
And not make that hill a mountain. Because if it becomes a mountain, then it takes you out of your game plan. You begin to do things, and you begin to become more predictable by the defense.
27 total yards by Southern Lab thus far in this half, in comparison to 104 yards by Haynesville in this half. So at their own 35 is where the Southern Labs will take over. Southern Lab Kittens 1st and 10. They just haven't been able to get that offense going against this man's defense.
Well, you know that this offense is good. It's very successful. A multiple offense, and they can do a lot of things. Barrow is an outstanding quarterback. A senior, 6'3", 196. You know, as a baseball player, the Cincinnati Reds love this guy.
Really?
Really, there's a couple players we could talk about, but Cincinnati Reds love him as a pitcher. He's also had 8 home runs. Southern, ULL, Louisiana Tech, among others, are looking at him in football and baseball.
Second man through is Terrence Moses. He gets 2 up near the 37-yard line. Off the bottom of the stack. Looks like Chris Bowman on the tackle. Cardo Bean also helping out. One of many two-way players.
Handoff right there to Moses, and he tries to drive forward for a couple of yards. And, if they use their speed a little bit, I think they may have a little speed on this Haynesville defense.
On the pitch, trying to use that speed now, cutting it back. Good job across the 40 to the 42-yard line by Terrence Moses for a gain of 4 or 5. Brandon Robinson up to make that stop. They'll mark it the 41, so it'll be third down and a very short 4, long 3.
We were talking about Barrow before as a potential major league prospect. Also,
right.
Alton Fisher, number 21. That's another guy that Cincinnati came down to Southern Lab and took a look at those guys and have expressed some interest in maybe looking at them around draft time in June. So you got a couple players here that may have a future in Major League Baseball.
That's Fisher out of your screen at the top along with Spears. Pass complete. Plummer first down up near the 48-yard line. Stuck immediately by Sheriff Fields. Gain of 7, but Plummer could climb the ladder, couldn't he?
Yeah, that's a nice little catch and nice delivery by Barrow. Drops back, good follow through right there. He gets that from his coach, I'm sure. But good catch right there, and nice pickup.
First and 10 at the 48. Barrow back to throw. He's under pressure. Throws it long, can't get it there. Alton Fisher trying to catch up with it. Barrow under pressure, though, as Cardo Bean had come in on the blitz from the backside and was catching up with him.
He can fly. He's got some pretty good speed, and he's made some good catches this year. He's talking about Fisher right there. He's a left-handed pitcher, brings the speed about 85 miles an hour, Doug. Throws a little junk, and so he's...
Throws a little junk?
Yeah, he throws some good junk pitches.
Sounds like some other people I know.
I talk trash. He throws junk. So we got something in common.
At least you don't talk junk and let him throw trash. Second down, 10 from their own 48. Barrow stepping up, trying to tell everybody here, this is what it is, here's the new play. Now he steps back into the shotgun, and I believe someone in the offensive line stepped up and then moved. Yeah, I think Anthony Hollins may have put his hand on the floor of the Superdome and then picked it back up. Are they going to wave it off? They are going to wave it off. They can say, no, his hand wasn't down.
There's no flag. The center did not have his hands on the ball.
Gotcha.
That's okay.
Yeah, we'll forgive you. We don't make any mistakes up here.
No.
Second down and 10. Barrow in the shotgun. Here comes 5. They got the screen. No, they don't. Jeffrey Stampley hit 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Super read by Cardo Bean, but Ben Winter may have been the first guy there to make the play.
And Cardo Bean steps up and smell that one out. You could tell, boy, a lot of black jerseys around the receiver and just had nowhere to go. The first to arrive was Bean, and not far behind was Brandon Robinson.
Along with Ben Winter, good job defensively. Third down, 15 now. The Kittens have been going in reverse, it seems like, in this one. Barrow back to throw, 5-man rush. Knocked up in the air, can't get it. Diving attempt by Alonzo Jackson, couldn't get it near the 45, so a fourth down and 15 coming up. And for the fourth time this afternoon, Marcus Spears will have to punt.
Alonzo Jackson, boy, he's a sophomore, Doug, 6'3", 215.
Boom.
Good swat right there by Bauman.
That was a good job.
And, boy, I tell you, he dies for it. He will be a super recruit in 2002. 6'3", 215 pounds. Negotiates the 40 and a 4.8. Wow, will he be good in 2 years?
Marcus Spears back to punt, back deep to receive. Sheriff Fields, Cardo Bean. No pressure. End-over-end floater. Over the shoulder catch by Bean at his 15. Got some room on the far side. If he can get there, 25, 30, and up to the 33. Donald Green up there to make the stop. Christopher Gauthier also there. 43 yards on the punt, 18 on the return. And so the Golden Tornado, with a 14-0 lead at the 3:13 mark of the second quarter, takes over at their own 33-yard line.
Ideally, they like to use all of these 3 minutes and 13 seconds until half and go into the halftime with at least a 14-point advantage. Not give Southern Lab any opportunity to get on the scoreboard before the half is over, but to kind of let them play catch-up in the second half and maybe come out of their game plan and do some things they didn't expect to do.
And that's about what they're going to do. Double wing set, Langford set back behind it. On the misdirection, hit in the backfield, nowhere to go. That's Cedric James for a loss of 4. Good job by the defense. Well, loss of 3, let's say. D really up quickly to make the stop. Third down, make that second down, 13 at the 30.
Marcus Spears, 84, defensive end. He made the first contact. Something about this young man, 16 reps with 225 pounds in bench. He's got an 18 on the ACT and a 3.3 GPA. That's number 54, Raylan Johnson, but he's also a pretty good prospect himself from defensive end.
Second down, 13. Langford under center. There's that double wing again. Right up the gut. Hampton across the 40, the 42. He'll pick up the 3 and more. An 11-yard gain up near the 41-yard line. Hampton now, 6 carries for 43 yards.
These guys are so good at what they do, Doug. They know or have a pretty good idea where the hole is going to be. Good pull right there. Kick out by Brian Sims, number 60. And running up the middle, Hampton has a pretty good head of steam once he hits his first defender and picks up a nice gain.
Third down and 2 from their 41. Split backfield behind Langford this time. That's Fields on the near side wing. There's Fields on the sweep to the wide side. Breaks behind his blockers. A first down run to midfield. Gain of 9 before Ernika Okamer can come up and make the stop.
They keep throwing excellent athletes at you. There's one right there, and Haynesville just has a carload of outstanding athletes. Shara Fields, who doubles on as a defensive back, has a carry there and does a good job.
Officially the 49, so a 1st and 10 from there. Split backfield, Langford back to throw. Under pressure, tries to screen to the near side. Hampton hit, pow! Hello, Keyshawn Connor. Gain of about 3. Connor just sort of hit him, and then you have 300 pounds fall on you.
I think he thinks school's out. He hears the bells right now. Must be 3:15.
Hello. Oh, they're going to go with no huddle here, guys. So a second down. Ooh, look how fast he is. Second down and 7. There's Fields. Had to come back for the ball. Makes a 5-yard reception brought down by Gerard Miles. It'll be shy of the first down by a yard. So third down and 1. The ball spotted at the 42. The clock now at 48 seconds to go first half.
Good open field tackle by Miles.
1 timeout for each team left in this half. Third and 1. Langford rolling out now. Got a man out here. Good juggling catch by Brandon Robinson. Running upfield and diving out of bounds at the 29.
Tough out pattern right there that Langford delivers right on the mark. And he's rolling to his right. And, of course, it's a little easier. I'm not taking anything away from that. That was a good play. Rolling at full speed with a little pressure coming. But delivers right where it had to be. No matter what kind of defense they employed there, he was going to make that catch. And, wow, had every opportunity. Great stop.
Langford now is a perfect 5 for 5 for 58 yards. Third first down of this second quarter for the Golden Tours. Back to throw again. Has a man over here. First incompletion of the afternoon as Cedric James couldn't catch up with it. Yeah, I think I may have jinxed him.
Hey, he had some alligator arms that time. A little short arms a little bit. I think he smelled Stampley coming up. And so maybe he wasn't. I don't know if he'd have made that catch because Stampley may have arrived the same time the ball did.
So with 27 seconds to go in the first half, Golden Tornadoes with a 14-0 lead, and that man's team, Eric Randall's Southern Lab Kittens, are down by 2 touchdowns and hope defensively they can come up with a stop here. Second down, 10, just inside the 29-yard line of Southern Lab. Langford doesn't like what he sees and calls his last timeout. Didn't have much time left on the clock anyway. 14-0. The Tours on top of the Kittens. LHSAA would also like to thank the title sponsor of the annual high school all-star games, Louisiana Coca-Cola Bottlers. Have one right here. Have a smile.
Yes.
Enjoy.
I'm glad we do.
Bank One sponsored the LHSAA All-State All-Academic Awards. Sports Care of Louisiana, the LHSAA's official healthcare network, providing trainers at all Louisiana High School Athletic Association events. Reebok, the official shoe of the LHSAA. And you'll have to help me with that last one. Musamesh Photography?
Yes.
You don't know, do you?
No.
The official photographer of all LHSAA events. And Baden, the official game ball. And Gatorade, the official thirst quencher of the LHSAA.
You know, the thing I'm impressed about all these teams that have been here are here, Doug, is how cerebral these guys are. You know, it goes to show.
How what they are?
Cerebral.
Sawawa?
Cerebral. Look it up in a dictionary. Something to do with the brain. The thing is that how cerebral these guys are, it shows that you can be smart and still have a good football team. You know, some of these teams, 4.0 GPAs and
unreal.
And better. So you can be an outstanding athlete, football player, and hit the books and have some success there as well.
And be cerebral. Going for it all, near side, Robinson. Jump ball, can't get it. Double team, but Robinson got his hands on it. Gerald Evans is back there defensively, along with Jason Stampley, but you know, Robinson almost had himself a catch.
He almost tapped it to himself.
Yeah. Little basketball move.
That'd have been an assist.
Would you call it that?
That would be an assist to himself.
Do we have a stat like that?
You see, look, well, I don't think he intended on doing it, but it hit his hands, hit his helmet, and almost bounced up, and he gave him another opportunity. So he would have had 3 tries at that.
Third down,
good
10.
Try.
Yeah, good attempt. Good coverage on that, though, by Evans and, believe, Stampley. 3rd and 10 from the 29. Man in motion. Whoa, snap from center's up in the air. Fumble. The ball is still being fought for, and finally, there's one of the Kittens with the ball. But they'll say, He recovered it on the ground before you swiped it out, guys. Loss of 1. The clock running 3, 2, 1. They'll never get the play off. The first half comes to an end on a fumble. But the Golden Tornadoes are owning a 14-0 lead over the Kittens of Southern Lab. Haynesville with the lead, going for their 11th state title under Coach Red Franklin.
I wanted to focus on.
We're now ready to head down to the field for our halftime. Getting ready for the second half of play. Haynesville up 14-0 over Southern Lab. Quick check of some of the stats. First downs, Haynesville owning it 10-3. Rushing 83 yards for Haynesville, 33 for Southern Lab. Only 2 yards passing for Southern Lab in the first half, 58 for Haynesville. So the total, Haynesville 121 yards, Southern Lab 35. The worst part is the Kittens have been penalized 6 times for 42 yards. Haynesville only twice for 10. Southern Lab kicking off to start this second half of play after winning the toss in the first half. High and short. Looking for the near side. Good block to crack him up near the 25. And then up around the 33, he's corralled and pushed back. On the return, Jabarick Evans. So the Golden Tornado will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. In the first half of play, Cedric James had 9 rushes for 48 yards. Quincy Hampton 6 rushes for 43. And Langford hit his first 5 passes in a row before missing his last 2. On the sweep, James trapped in the backfield and dropped for a 3-yard loss at the 31.
That was exceptional skating to the sidelines by the defensive captain, Harris Tucker, along with Marcus Spears. Good job right there, Doug. Watch as he, quick pitch right here to the outside. Not an easy play to defend, but Tucker shoots the gap. Good play by Spears as he keeps his outside hand free and keeps the blocker right where he needs to. It plays the blocker and makes this stop for a loss. And this is the kind of plays that Southern's going to need to get back in this game.
Down 14-0 here in the start of the second half of play. Second down and 13. On the sweep this side this time. Breaking a tackle in the backfield and slipping forward across the 40. First down carry to the 45, Cardo Bean. Gain of 10, make it 15. Bean had 3 carries for 4 yards in the first half, including a loss for 5.
You know, he does everything. Returns kicks. He kicks. He's a running back, a fullback, a linebacker. I think he drove the bus here, but I tell you what he does best is he makes good cuts and has good vision. Very determined runner, Doug. Good base. You're not going to knock him off his feet very early or very easily, and he's got a first down for the Golden Tornado.
Did you notice the keys hanging off of his belt there?
Yeah.
You said he drove the bus.
He also closed up the
gym at the end of the day. Huh? Flags early. It did not. The play clock did not wind down, so that's safe. Somebody, I believe, may have moved premature.
Dead ball, false start, offense.
He sounds excited.
Well, you know, these guys are a good crew. I've been with some officials that sound like cheerleaders for a funeral, you know, but these guys are into this game.
Cheerleaders for a funeral. The 5-yard penalty backs things up to the 41, where Langford is under center. Single wing, split backfield. Up the gut. There's nowhere for Hampton to go. May have actually lost a yard or two. Keyshawn Connor is one of the first ones there to make contact. Lost back to the 40, so a loss of 1. It'll be second down, 16.
Very impressed with number 64, Darrell Hurst's first step. He shoots that gap, a good swim move, and does a good job, Doug. And just got right there. Fought off the blocker and did an outstanding job.
That was pretty.
With an aid from Keyshawn Connor.
Second down, 16. Let's try the sweep the other way. Fields on a second and long. Connor again. No gain, and the big man is right in the middle. Marcus Spears helping out too.
They liken Connor to a Corey Simon, now playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, but he's exceptionally well. And, you know, he's to his left is Marcus Spears right there. Good look at him. You know, it's uncertain if he'll play basketball. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. He's going to play football, but he can play basketball at the next level. He's good enough. He's an All-American in basketball. He's, I don't remember what his averages are, but he's outstanding. And, you know, something else for good measure. He's the state champion in the javelin toss and second in the shot put.
Langford back to throw, trying the screen. Nobody in front of him. Hampton has plenty of room. First down, the 40, down to the 36. Harris Tucker finally caught up with him 24 yards later.
Good play action, Doug, and good ball handling by the quarterback, and found a wide open receiver down the sideline for a nice pickup. And this is the type of things that Southern Lab has to guard against to get back in these games, these big plays, as Langford finds a wide open Hampton.
Can't get much more open than that.
Unscathed down the right sideline for a nice gain, 24 yards.
First and 10, shy of the 35. Langford again to pass. Looking deep, triple coverage, caught anyway. How did Fields do that? 33 yards down inside the 5.
He just went up and took it away from 3 defenders, and wow, as you said, he had a crowd.
He just wanted it. That's one of those things where you just wanted more, huh?
Yeah,
there is a flag down, though. Did not see it drop, but it is. I see it now down near the 40-yard line. There it is. That's about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Oh, it's a big one. Holding? Ray Pratt says holding.
But what a display of athleticism.
We had a hold during the play, 10 yards from the spot of the foul against offense.
You're right, though. What an unbelievable catch by Fields that will go for naught. First down, 23. The ball spotted at the 49. Here's the pitch. Hampton hit in the backfield and dropped. Jeffrey Stampley, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The senior comes in and makes the play.
He's quick. He's a starter on offense, a 3-year starter on defense, a 2-year starter on offense. And Stampley, the senior, trying to turn things around for the Kittens in the 1A state championship.
14-0. The Golden Tornadoes ahead now. And that's the lead that they held for about 1/3 of the first half. Langford sends a receiver way out to the far side. Up. Connor stepping into the neutral zone. In the first half, Southern Lab was penalized 6 times for 42 yards. And this will be the 7th.
We had dead ball, encroachment on the defense.
He's having a good time here in New Orleans.
He's a man-child. Big guy. Great first step. Unfortunately, the ball hadn't been snapped yet, but
otherwise it was a good first step.
Yeah. Good. He just tried to anticipate the snap count and was off a bit.
So with 7:30 and counting to go, third quarter, Golden Tornadoes now with a 2nd down and 20. On the delay, Fields across the 45 to the 42, gain of 4. Ernika Okamer comes up to make the stop. A little help from Raylan Johnson, too.
Good counter, inside handoff. Goes for a few yards, but Okamer certainly is a, they call him Baby Spears. Because
Baby Spears.
He's a freshman, and he's got a great future ahead of him, and he'll be around for a while. A good basketball player and track, and he can be a tight end, a tackle. In fact, he may grow into an offensive lineman.
He's only a freshman.
Right.
Unreal. 3rd down, 16. Up the gut. Sort of slammed to the turf is Hampton. I don't know who that was, but they just grabbed him by the back of his jersey. Darrell Hurst is who did that? Thank you, Ray. I mean, Hurst just grabbed him by the back of his jersey and just body slammed him, like what you see in the championship wrestling that you used to be in, Renee.
Well, I used another name, but yeah, he
Right
just
here,
pulled
there
him
it is.
back, bulldogged him. Yes.
Plus Jeffrey Stampley helping out. What was your name when you were wrestling? Are you allowed to give it up?
Nicholas Ridiculous.
And punting on a 4th down and 13. This is the first punt of the afternoon for Haynesville. Sheriff Fields will be doing it. High wobbler. Plummer lets it bounce. Will they get it before it goes in the end zone? No. Touchback. They had enough tours down there, but they just couldn't get to it. Plummer did the right thing, though, of letting it hit, though, as well inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, but just couldn't grab it, and Southern Lab just breathes a collective sigh of relief as they get the ball at the 20-yard line, and it's a little better than at the 2.
Yep.
Replay right here is the Golden Tornado special teams unit just couldn't get a grasp on things. Rolls into the end zone, and much to the delight of the Kitten faithful. Great turnout here for the single A game, Doug, and we're just 1 quarter and 5 minutes, 46 seconds away from determining a winner.
Up the gut, handoff for about a 3-yard gain. Terrence Moses on the carry. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8 coming up. Mysteriously missing from the offensive side of things in that first half was number 84.
Yeah, they tried to get him one time, and the ball was swatted away.
Marcus Spears.
He's doing a good job. That doesn't make any difference. They're aware of him, and he's a pretty good decoy and a good blocker. And, well.
You saw one there.
Yeah, what a seal block.
Terrence Moses. Drugged down from behind by Draper Robinson at midfield. Moses made people miss for a 28-yard run.
That block by Marcus Spears is like somebody running through the hall and someone closed the door and they didn't know it. Ran blindside into his block and run into a 6'5", 270-pound wall right here. You may see it in the corner of your screen right about. Didn't see it. Anyway, it allowed him to run up to a nice running play.
First down at midfield. Jeffrey Stampley runs off the right side as Alonzo Jackson catches up with him 4 yards downfield. Gain of 4, 2nd down, 6 coming up. The clock running with 4:40 to go in this first third period of play. And right now, the Tornadoes up 14-0.
Southern Lab just needs to keep sawing wood and doing what they're doing. They're having some success on the ground. I'm sure they'll sprinkle it in with their pass or two.
2nd down and 6. Right up the gut. Not much there, but breaking tackles and getting 3 is Terrence Moses. Moses made sort of chicken soup out of old chickens there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. You know, he's got 13 touchdowns, and that's not chopped liver. But he really did an outstanding job. And good lateral cutting here, cutting against the grain. That is good vision. And as I mentioned, he's got close to 1,600 yards.
I think 1,600 yards
for the season.
Gotcha. Sorry. Maybe we should stop the food references for a while, huh? 3rd down and 3. Ball spotted at the 43. Looking. Instead, he'll run and get very close to the 1st down, Will Barrow, but he won't make it. He'll be about a half a yard shy near the 40-yard line. Barrow's already looking to the sideline to his coach, Eric Randall, saying, let's go, coach, let's go.
You know, Barrow really completed 60% of his tosses during the season. When he steps up to the line, Doug, he's got 3 plays, 2 running and 1 passing plays, and he just checks off by reading the defensive ends and the outside linebackers. That's how he determines what play is coming.
Barrow's had a hard time this game, though. Only 2 for 10 for 2 yards. 4th down and a yard to go, actually less than a yard. Man in motion. Barrow, Stampley behind him. Barrow will get the 1st down. Excellent surge by the front of the offensive line. Davis, and Spencer on the right side. Doing a good job of pushing up and getting 4 yards on a quarterback sneak.
Well, when you run behind Spencer, I mean, and that's 6'7", 325 pounds.
73.
Right? He just caves in the defensive line, but gets a little nudge right there from
Kristoff,
Stampley.
too.
Yeah,
Look at Kristoff. You saw that?
Well, that's a story there.
Yeah. Oh, we need to talk about him. 1st down and 10. Quick pitch, short side. That's Moses. He'll get 2. Ooh, is he smacked? Sheriff Field says hello. 2 meeting 2.
Really like this guy Moses, Doug, and as we mentioned, you got some guys, Tennessee, Nebraska, Florida State, and LSU are watching him. He's got a 2.8 GPA. He's got 54 yards thus far on 9 carries.
2nd down 8 after the 2-yard run. 2:20 and counting to go, 3rd quarter, 14-0. Haynesville on top of Southern Lab. Barrow back to throw. Pumping, now he's going. He's got a man out here if he can get it. Going up for it and almost getting it, but excellent defense. Alton Fisher was there. Brandon Gilmore was defensively there, but you know, if that ball would have been having a little bit less air and a little bit more oomph, I think you're looking at a touchdown.
Well, yeah, it was definitely a throw it up and see if you can go get it. Alton Fisher did the best he could, but he's up against a guy who excels not only in football, but track and basketball, and Gilmore was equal to the challenge.
Good jump here.
Timed his jump just right.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Ooh.
Hit him in a bad spot. 3rd down 8 at the 33. Gilmore under center. Back to throw. Everybody's coming. Going for it to Spears. Can't get it. Overthrown. Spears wanted the interference, but it wasn't catchable. The ball landed about the 8-yard line, and Spears was near the 20.
You know, there was another receiver right in the same area, Doug, and
that could be why they had so many black jerseys over there.
That was Moses, yeah. And the thing is that he's going to attract a crowd wherever he goes. Spears is going to bring,
yeah.
He's going to bring a crowd with him. And you see right there in the number 2, it does not have as much attention centered on him, and that may be something they will consider in the upcoming plays.
4th down and 8. And the Kittens are going for it, of course. Heck, they had it 4th down and a foot inside their own 15 in the first half. They went for it then. Here comes 6 defensively. Got a man out there, picked off. That's Gilmore, the 30. Twists out of a tackle there. Blockers in front of him. Knocked out of bounds at the 47. "34 yards on the interception return by Gilmore on a pass that was overthrown and intended for Alton Fisher.
I don't think the receiver was aware of the ball being in the air, and when it was intercepted, there was a moment of indecision which allowed the defensive back to break one tackle and scoot up the field for a nice pickup following it on the return.
So with 1:51 to go in this 3rd quarter, the Golden Tornadoes dodged the bullet with an interception. That probably the best threat of the game by Southern Lab.
This definitely lets the air out of the balloon a little bit because the Southern Lab was having a nice drive going, Doug, and you also used quite a bit of time as we were nearing the end of the third stanza.
1st and 10 at the 46. Stopped. Marcus Spears at the top of that stack to stop Cedric James. Gain of 2 up near the 44.
Stampley was the low man of the totem pole in that tackle, Doug, and yeah, along with Spears, he brought him to the ground. You know, Spears, they liken him offensively to a Shannon Sharp, Mark Shimura, and a Randy Moss. They say he's got the same type of talents. Coach Eric Randall said that if you watch him in practice, he makes a highlight film that the NFL will be impressed with. He makes
just in practice
great juggling catches and just is what an athlete he is. And this is why he's being so highly recruited.
2nd down and 8. Excellent job on the bottom to get Cedric James. Maybe a yard gain, but not much more. It looked like it was Ernika O'Connor and Raylan Johnson come up to make the stop, but there is an injured Tornado on the field. I believe that may be Cedric James. Everybody's up and okay, though. Along with him was Darrell Hurst on the floor of the Superdome, but everybody's up and running, so we're okay. Gain of 1. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
What an outstanding quarterback he was. Coach Randall, former Glen Oaks quarterback, who you remember him?
Mm-hmm. I do. 40 seconds and counting to go in this third quarter. On the delay, Hampton banged as he gets up near the 41-yard line. Raylan Johnson up there to make the stop. Also Darrell Hurst. So it'll be 4th down and a very short 5, long 4. The ball is spotted just inside the 41-yard line.
Raylan Johnson made a good play here. He comes crashing in from the outside, makes the stop. His brother had been on the state champions in 1996. He's being looked at. Raylan Johnson himself is being looked at by Southern, Northwest Louisiana, Nichols, and McNeese, and he does a great job. Really reckless defensive end, 6'3", 235, will grow a little bit, but he wreaks havoc on defense, which he did there.
And that's the end of the third quarter. We have 12 minutes to play in this 1A state championship ball game in the Superdome. The Golden Tornadoes up 14-0 over Southern Lab. A 4th down and 5 coming up for the Golden Tornadoes of that man, Red Franklin, who has 10 state titles under his belt. Only the 2nd punt of the afternoon. And they're going to try the fake instead. Will he make the 1st down? Yep, and more. That's Bean. He's gone. 41 yards on a 4th down and 5. That took guts. I like that. I like that call.
He ran like you put the hose on full speed on your front lawn and you don't know where it's going. He was zigzagging, snaking all over the place, Doug. And what is that? Weeble, wobble, but they won't fall down.
That's right.
This is unbelievable.
Good block on the outside by Alonzo Jackson there.
If you charted this run, he ran 172 yards.
You just charted it, didn't you?
Wow. What a great run. That's instinct there.
And Langford's extra point is good. We're only 11 seconds into the 4th quarter of play, and boom, Haynesville has walloped the Kittens of Southern Lab 21-0 in this Class 1A state championship game. Three touchdowns separate these two teams, Haynesville and Southern Lab, and it's the Golden Tornadoes searching for their 11th state championship under Coach Red Franklin that are up by 3 touchdowns right now.
Yeah, and Bean has accounted for all 3 of those. 2 rushing, 1 receiving. Total yards for Ricardo Bean, 97 yards.
That's rushing and pass receiving. And the kickoff, high, short. Fisher on the return. He'll get up across the 30, up near the 33, 13 yards on the return. And that's where the Southern Lab Kittens, who put their best drive together the last time they had the ball, Renee, but they just couldn't. Once they put that drive together, the interception sort of stopped it.
Yeah, you know, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot a couple of times, and the penalties have certainly hurt Southern Lab. In fact, Southern Lab 7 assessments for 47 yards, but they've come at bad times and really kind of slowed their momentum a little bit.
1st and 10, Barrow back to throw. Knocked in the air, almost picked off. Jimmy Washington was the young man that knocked it in the air. There is a flag down. And then it was almost picked off. Was that Guillotte that almost got it?
Jimmy Washington.
Either Guillotte or Winter. But Washington was the guy that knocked it up in the air. Clipping called against
Flag on the left.
Southern Lab, and the penalties continue to pile up against the Kittens.
As you can see, Barrow dropping straight back, or no, rather rolling left, and trying to find and batted right back in his face. Jimmy Washington says, take that, just a sophomore. Great leaping ability.
We had a clip on the offense, 15 from the spot of the foul, replay first down.
You know, in Washington, Doug does a great job. Just a sophomore. He'll be a recruit in 2002. Picked off a screen pass against Sterlington, ran it back 30 yards for a touchdown, broke the game wide open. And he's that kind of player, gets right in the face of the quarterback.
1st and officially a bus ride for the first down. Barrow's pass, near side Fisher, looking for the wide receiver screen. Got across the 25. Nice leg drive to get him up to near the 27-yard line. Gain of 10. It'll be 2nd down. We'll call it about 16.
Barrow just dropped straight back, couple of step drop, and he's went out to Alton Fisher and let him do the best and get some blocking out in front of him. Nice pickup. Barrow just doing a pretty good job. They feel like his best is the intermediate routes and his reading. And, you know, he gets a little bit of athleticism from his dad, who was quite a baseball player himself. But Barrow has really stepped in there and has quite a future in baseball or football.
Shovel pass. That's Moses. Oh, what a hit by Alonzo Jackson. You heard the reaction from the crowd. Gain of 12 on the shuffle pass. But, boy, that was a beauty.
Yeah, we said he'll be around for 2 more years. 6'3", 215-pound Alonzo Jackson. Little shuffle pass. And Jackson comes up and collars him and pulls him. He's going the other direction. Jackson also pretty good in basketball and baseball as a pitcher and outfielder, so he never takes off the cleats. Doug, well, of course, basketball on the hardwood.
Oh, you may wear cleats for that.
Quite a rebounder.
3rd down and 4. Barrow in the shotgun again. 3 receiver set. Quick curl pattern, got it. That's Plummer for a first down up near the 45. That's a 6-yard gain before Gilmore can bring him down. But a nice little timing pattern to pick up that first.
Thing about Plummer, he's got those sticky hands, and just a sophomore, Doug, he will get better. He's about 6 feet tall right now, 6'1". They expect him to be a 6'3", a 6'4" prospect by the time his senior year rolls around, and he's another one of these basketball players they converted and made him come out for, well, didn't make him, but convinced him to come out for football.
You will come out for football. Just under 10 minutes to go in the game. These Kittens down by 3 touchdowns. Barrow to throw. 6-man rush. Picked up. Now he's going to run, and he's hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. And that time, Jimmy Washington not only did the job as he did 2 plays ago where he defended the pass, sort of, and this time he defends the run well.
Got good speed, 4'8" for that young sophomore, 6 feet, 195-pound guy, and he's the pass rusher sack specialist for the Golden Tornado.
Officially, no gain. 2nd down, 10, just across the 45. Barrow back under center with a 3 receiver set. That's passed backwards. Spears can pass it again if he wants to, and he will. Oh, he's got an arm. Plummer! Got it! Touchdown! 55 yards! And that was off of his back foot.
He was leaning backwards.
Oh, my!
You know, I thought I seen it all. Marcus Spears could be a quarterback now.
Let's see, where can he play?
Man!
That was off his back foot, Renee.
And what touch he had.
Yeah.
effortless Marcus Spears.
And he was under pressure. There's a guy on him. Right, watch him. Right here, Washington. Right when he threw it.
Great route right here. Wow, had beaten coverage, and Plummer with the touchdown.
This may be the golden elixir that the Kittens have been looking for. We were hoping for Marcus Spears to get back into the offense. He wasn't in the first half. He got back in a big way here.
You know, this is like he told Plummer, run to the lamppost and cut.
Keep going once you get to that third car
and run to the stop sign.
Right.
And then he connected with him. What a great throw he made. But what athleticism. Great play designed by Coach Randall and staff. And credit the blocking with keeping Spears unscathed until he finally released the ball. And look at the rotation, the spiral on this ball here.
I think you're right. So what do you think he'll really play now?
I don't know. Well, you know, he's got that javelin background. He was a state champion in javelin, so
that's right.
You can see he's got that follow-through delivery.
So that touchdown right there cuts it to a 2-touchdown lead for Haynesville. That's the first real threat that the Kittens have had. You know, they did a little while ago, their last possession, they showed some life in their offense, which they didn't have in the first half, Renee. And so in that last possession, they showed some life, but then an interception. But this one right here, remember, they backed themselves up.
Yeah.
All the penalties and the silly plays, and all of a sudden, boom. Sometimes you have to do that in order to get your mind back in the game, don't you?
This may be the impetus to get them going. The defense kind of jacked them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Get the juices flowing, and Coach Randall's all excited about this play. And I mean, this was certainly a shot in the arm to the Kitten, team overall.
And faithful. How's that? A little high pooch kick, but hold on, somebody was offside. Something rolling around on the field out there. Coach Randall's team offsides there, so they'll back it up 5 yards. Or was it because they stopped it because something came off field? No, was it offsides on Coach Randall's guys? It almost looked like an onside kick a little bit. Almost. 8:57 to go in the game. Southern Lab has cut into that Haynesville lead, which now stands at 21-7.
You know, the thing is that Southern Lab, as everyone knows, is in the backyard of Pete Richardson and Southern University. Marcus Spears is very surprised, has never gotten a call from Southern University.
Never?
Not gotten a call, and it's someplace perhaps, I guess, near and dear to his heart because of where the school is located.
Southern Lab,
Southern University is not.
Pete has never called him?
Well, I mean,
somebody needs to call Pete.
It may have happened this past week, but he is not.
That's hard. What I mean is, it's just hard to believe.
Yeah,
it really is unreal.
Sometimes writing underneath your nose. Wow, he can play.
He can do anything.
I mean, he could suit it up and stay here overnight and just play tomorrow because there's no Saints game here. But
he could if he wanted to.
He could.
I think they'd open up the dome for him. Yes, sir, Mr. Spears. Yes, sir. Remember, he plays both ways, too. So let's see if they try the attempted onside kick. Everybody's up close for Haynesville, maybe expecting it. Nope, instead of Squibber. Way over the head of Cardo Bean and into the end zone. I don't know if they meant to, but they got the touchback. So the Golden Tornadoes will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. With 8:57 to go in this ball game, up 21-7 in this Class 1A state championship game. Tim Van Guy's down to the field right now. Tim.
It's been so long since the Haynesville defense has given up a touchdown that here on the bench, they're not sure. They're shell-shocked. They're really not sure how to react to giving up a score. It'll be interesting to see how the Haynesville defense reacts.
Thanks, Timmy. Cardo Bean on the sweep picks up 11 yards around the right side. Jason Stampley up there to make the stop.
You know, kind of as evidenced by what Tim has just said, Haynesville averaging 44 points per outing and only allowing their opponents 2.3 points per game. Ooh.
So the Kittens are already well beyond that.
That's not even a field goal, Doug.
No. Just a percentage of a field goal.
Scooting around the right side for a nice pickup. First down.
And 10 at the 31. Langford taking his time watching the clock. Up the gut, Hamilton breaking tackles across the 40, up to midfield. 20 yards on the carry. Hamilton just carrying people with him on that quick opener up the gut. Darrell Hurst has to drag him down from behind.
Hampton really did a great job with a great leg drive. Gets off, follows the blocking, broke a tackle there, another one, and he will make contact 3-4. And the fourth tackle, he kind of gives him a little pony ride before he's gets some assist from Hurst and company.
Hampton now 11 carries for 66 yards. First and 10 just across midfield. Now the misdirection. Cedric James with not much room there across the right side for 2. James with 13 carries and 49 yards. Bean, though, leading the way. He only has 6 carries, 71 yards rushing, and remember, 2 rushing touchdowns and a reception for a TD.
Credit goes to this offensive line for the Golden Tornado with Bowman, Evans, Hicks, Sims, and Winter. And the best of the lot, of course, is Bowman with Texas A&M, ULL, and Louisiana Tech on his trail, and all-district performer in 99 and 2000, number 76, Chris Bowman.
Second and 8. Here's the pitch. James hitting the backfield, surges for a yard, and that's about all. Ernika Okamer is the one to come up to make that stop. Good-looking kid, and like you said, only a freshman.
Yeah, he may grow into an offensive lineman before it's over. 6'3", 215, and but his athleticism, the way every plays, he'll excel, and done a great job. I mean, really mature. Usually a freshman, most players step into this arena and realize it's for the state championship. Doesn't show much intimidation on his part.
No. Third down, we'll call it 7 at the 47 of Southern Lab. Langford hands off on the sweep. There's Bean, but he won't be going anywhere. Marcus Spears had him by the jersey, but at the bottom, it looked like Harris Tucker had him there. There's a timeout called with 6:23 to go in this fourth quarter. Southern Lab calls the timeout down by 2 touchdowns. That's their first timeout they've used in the second half of play. The 1A state championship game, Haynesville and Southern Lab. The Golden Tornadoes up 21-7. Red Franklin. Sort of like one of those other things. The name says it all. Huh?
Good look at the cheering squad.
That's Salmon.
As they're preparing. Eric Randall. You know, talking about Marcus Spears, we thought we saw it all, but you know, he's a 4-year starter in basketball and football. Averages 14 points per game in basketball, 18 rebounds.
Second punt of the afternoon, maybe. Last time they set up for a punt, the Golden Tours faked it. Not this time. High, short, Fields. Oh boy! 30, 40, the 41. What a tremendous job by Fields just to split everybody. Finding his way. Brandon Gilmore on the tackle, 31 yards on the punt, but a 26-yard return.
That was Terrence Moses, and what a great explosion right here. Kind of surprised Haynesville with that return. I think they may have anticipated him. I'll tell you what, this tackle prevented a short touchdown.
Yep.
And would have been lined up for an extra point right now.
That was Terrence Moses. My apologies. First down and 10 at the 41. Back of the shotgun, Barrow. Looking, plenty of protection over the middle. Little too tall. Pass intended for Johnny Jones, the senior wideout. Slipped through his hands, but it was thrown a little bit high.
You know, Johnny Jones is really the life of this team, keeps them all up and pumped up. He was a strong safety and cornerback exclusively. 6th game of the season, moved over to wide receiver and done a great job with his athleticism. Brings a lot to that position as well.
He's checked out and Spears is checked in. That's Marcus way up at the top. Down here at the bottom is Plummer. Barrow with an offset eye, back to throw. Pumps one, got a man back there if he can get it. Yep, that's Fisher. 40. Look at the speed. 30. 20. Knocked out of bounds inside the 15. 48 yards on the reception from Barrow to Alton Fisher.
That's a pair of prospects the Cincinnati Reds love, and as Barrow drops right back and hits him on a stop route right at the sideline, kind of drew all the attention over to Spears, but hits Fisher right there as he's standing still waiting for the ball, and then turns on the afterburners, the Jets. Crosses the field, and wow, almost busted it. Sure tackle right here by Shower Fields prevented it.
And a timeout taken by the Golden Tornadoes, trying to stop what the Kittens have put together. It's 21-7. Haynesville on top of Southern Lab.
Wendy's High School Heisman recognizes seniors who excel in academics, athletics, and citizenship.
Now let's meet our Wendy's High School Heisman State finalists.
Lacey McCurry, Haynesville High School. Cy Cunningham, Ellender Memorial High School. Gerard Victoriano, Fisher High School. Sharon Carrillo, Errett High School. Matt Truex, Archbishop Rummel High School. For updates on the 2000 Wendy's High School Heisman program, tune in to your local stations.
One of those plays where you, after the big play, you try to stop things, try to maybe cool things off a little bit for this guy's team, Eric Randall. Kittens are really moving downfield, and they're doing it via the pass. 5:56 to go in the fourth quarter. Haynesville up 21-7, but the Kittens of Southern Lab threatening. 1st and 10 at the 12. Barrow fakes the handoff. No, he does hand it off. That's Moses to the 10 for a gain of 2. Alonzo Jackson comes up to make the stop, along with Jimmy Washington, who we have mentioned quite a few times in this ballgame.
Great blocking up front, Doug, and allowed Moses to scoot up for a nice gain.
No huddle now. Barrow back in the shotgun. 4-man rush. Looking for the end zone. Spears can't get it. Shira Fields was there defensively. Spears almost made the catch nonetheless.
Yeah, Fields, good defense, and boy, I tell you what, he's given away about 7 inches or so and still made the play and nearly stopped. Well, I tell you what, Spears could have had that on a rebound. But Barrow drops back and just
zing,
eyes his mark and throws it on a rope. Just could not come down with it. Shower Fields, great defense.
So 2nd down and 8 from the 10. Plummer and Fisher go to the far side. Spears alone to the near side. Barrow under center. Roll it out. Oh, he's got a man out there. That could be a touchdown. Stampley, did he get in? Yes. A 10-yard touchdown toss from Barrow to Stampley. With the extra point to come, that'll shorten this lead to only 1 touchdown.
Wow, big play as Barrow with his athleticism roll right, and look, he looks, that is good. Looking this way, well, this is a Spears play now.
We just wanted to see that one again. We enjoyed it so
Almost
much
came
the
down
first
with
time.
it. Yeah.
He still didn't catch it though.
No. But it was great as he rolled right and hit his mark and in for a touchdown.
And there's only 7 points now separating these two teams. 5:25 to go in this ball game. And the Golden Tornadoes are trying to see if they can win this one, but the Kittens aren't giving up yet. This little pooch right there, little pooch pass.
Doesn't have to look pretty as long as it gets there, and in pursuit is Alonzo Jackson, but unfortunately he won't get there. Also kind of cut him off at the pass, if you will, as Gilmore, but Stampley's momentum carried him forward.
You think if we played it again, he'll still score? What do you think?
This is nice. This is pretty. Rolling right, nice blocking, a little flip pass. Stampley had to collect it first of all, and then turn and go. And boy, I tell you what, that was not an easy task getting to the end zone, just right inside the pylon.
So far, Barrow 7 of 20, 88 yards, but that touchdown right there for 10. Now, how about it? They onside kicked it, or looked like they could have been trying to a little while ago the last time they kicked.
But this is exciting. 5:25 to go, and
there's only a touchdown separating.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Christopher Olsenkopf kicking off. Golden Tornadoes up and ready to receive. 21-14. High pooch kick that goes directly out of bounds over the bench. That's one of those where you go, oops.
Could have been a field goal from 35.
Yeah. I'm sure he's going to go to the sideline. I didn't mean that, Coach. I really didn't. My leg is so strong.
Well, when you get the juices flowing and you get a little jacked up a little bit, those things happen.
Now you'll get it where it went out of bounds, which will be the 43-yard line. That's not good news for Southern Lab.
Coach Randall says, good try, and turned over to our defense.
Defense did it the last 2 times. Only 5:25 to go in this 1A state championship game here in the Superdome for the Nokia Sugar Bowl Prep Classic. Doug Joubert, Renee Nadeau here at the Superdome, along with a cast of thousands in the booth. Langford handed off. That's James to the outside. Got some room. He's at the 50. And he'll get 9 on that one to the outside. Maybe 8. Gerard Miles out there, but did you see the block by Falante Hill?
Yeah, and that was only a sophomore, Doug, 6'3", 190-pounder out in front, and good steal block right there by 76 Bauman.
This is it right there. There's the 83. Got the block out downfield on 24 and held him up.
Allowed him to give it. Yeah, that's a nice pickup. 2nd and short.
We'll call it 2nd and 2 after the 8-yard run. Langford watching the clock count down. Now just 8 on the play clock. Hampton up the middle. First down carry inside the 45 to the 43. Gain of 5. Gerald Evans submarines him there. But a first down carry.
Big Keyshawn Connor right there with his presence known.
That's a big man.
Yes, he is. He'll be a big man wherever he goes. Can't teach size, and he's got it.
1st and 10 at the 43 of Southern Lab. Haynesville with the ball and the lead by a touchdown. 4:19 and counting to go in the game. Hamilton up the gut. Big hole! Boom! At the 30, he's got a first down and about 5 more. Those quick openers by the Tornadoes have really damaged Southern Lab.
Yeah, Hampton running between the guards and center, right up the gut right here. And it doesn't get any better than that. All of a sudden, the first one he meets is Harris, which is giving away about 40 pounds. That's certainly an advantage to Hampton, but nice pickup first down to continue to eat clock, and they'd like to salt this away with a score if they would.
Hampton 13 carries for 86 yards. 1st and 10 at the 28. On the sweep now. A little bit of room for Bean, not much more than that. Tossed around like a rag doll at the line of scrimmage for no gain. That's Connor under there also, but Stampley was the first one to get there to knock him away. Timeout being called now to try to stop the ever-moving clock with 3:31 to go in this ball game. Golden Tornadoes up 21-14 over Southern Lab in this Class 1A state championship game. After that run of 2nd down 10, still facing Haynesville as Eric Randall's Southern Lab Kittens are down by a touchdown.
See, Doug, you see number 78 right there in the corner? I worry about that guy. I'm going to tell you why in a second. He's an offensive tackle.
78, yeah.
But I'm going to tell you why.
You wanted to talk about him earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, but I'll tell you why. 78 right there, right in the right corner.
Okay, we'll look at him in a minute. 2nd down 10 at the 28. Offset I. Hamilton scrums his way up near the 26 for a gain of 2. Stampley down to the bottom. Gerard Miles also Guys, can we get a shot at that number 78 there, please?
They make it go
on the sideline.
Make it going kind of tough for Hampton just now in that last run by Quincy Hampton. The guy we talk about is number 78. Right there. Good look at him. Sherman Christoph. Now he's a 6'2", 292-pounder being recruited by Northeast, Northwestern Tulane. But that's not the thing.
Okay, wait. Okay,
go ahead.
Make him hold on just a little longer. This is the best part. Bated breath here. 3rd down and 8, just shy of the 25. You got to hear this story. Split backfield. On the misdirection, James following his blockers up to near the 20. He'll be shy of the first down by 2 after a 5-yard gain. It'll be 4th down and 2. Okay, tell us about him.
He's emotional, and in this type of game, how tight as it is, he gets so emotional, he gets hyperventilated. He's passed out twice before the game. So that's quite a leader when your leader goes down. But he's an emotional guy. He's a college recruit.
He's gotten so pumped up he actually passed out.
But he's got 18 pancakes on the season. We wonder how many he just passed out. But he's a good blocker, and he's going to make a great college player. And
you see him looking up. He looks up on the Superdome screen.
I worry about him right now. Yeah, because with a tight game like this and getting excited and hyperventilating, I'm worried he may go down. And they need him if they get the ball back.
At any second. Oh my! That's the kind of thing I love. Those stories. 18 pancakes. Now you're not talking about like waffles.
Some of these guys for Southern Lab, I'm telling you, I think I could see a stack of 18. But I'm talking about just dissing your opponent and just laying him on his back.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm talking about.
18 pancakes. Okay. I wonder how many waffles.
He's big, boy. He passed out twice before the game, but
not this game, just before games.
But a game like this, as tight as it is, I worry about him a little bit.
4th down and 2, and Langford will be attempting a field goal. This one spotted near the 27-yard line. So a 37-yard field goal attempt by Langford out of the hole to Shira Fields. They've already attempted one fake punt and were successful. Let's see. No fake here. Got plenty of leg. And he's got the distance. It's got it. And Langford, nice leg, huh?
Well, he's kicked him from 47 yards, so he's got the leg, and, I tell you what, it's pressure. He's so good at everything he does that that's the reason he's a quarterback.
He's a leader. 2:32 to go in this ball game, and the Golden Tornadoes open up a 10-point lead. Just 2.5 minutes separate these teams from the 1A state championship trophy. As of right now, Haynesville with a 24-14 lead over Southern Lab off of this field goal by Eric Langford. He knew when he hit it. High, deep kick. Fields inside his 10, reverses his field. Slips between a couple of tacklers, out of bounds at the 28, and a flag flies. She'll have a late hit. 20 yards on the return.
That's Moses with a great explosion and cutting right. And wow, he is a dangerous return specialist, Doug. You have to be aware of where he is at all times.
Thank you, Terrence Moses.
We had a dead ball, personal foul, late hit out of bounds against Black. Well, we had 15 yards on. First down for White.
That's exactly what the Kittens need right now. Red Franklin isn't happy, though. But I bet he is.
Eric Randall is hoping for anything to happen now with just 2.5 minutes, just under 2.5 minutes to go here in the final quarter to determine the single A state champion at the Nokia Classic here in the Superdome.
That ball marked down to the 43-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10. Southern Lab, they need a big play here. Big, fast. Barrow in the shotgun. Spears trying to outrun everybody and can't. Jimmy Washington caught him from behind at the line for no gain.
And that was excellent for that young sophomore to peel back and make the stop on what could have been a big play as Barrow just drops back quickly and quick delivery, a couple of step drop and just fire. Well, I don't know if you want to call it fire, but he delivered the pass.
Throw. Barrow back to pass, the blitz on, turns one way, incomplete. A little contact right about the time the ball got there between Fisher and Gilmore. I think the official's going to say it wasn't catchable. So a 3rd and 10 coming up.
That was just miscommunication on the part of the receiver and the quarterback. I think the receiver throw is going to be a hook and go, and Barrow throws going to be a stop. And just maybe a sideline pattern, and just misreading on both their parts. Don't know who was wrong, but
there's some confusion out on the field right now. Barrow just got the play in. With 10 seconds on the play clock, he comes into the shotgun. 5-man rush, rolling away. Looking downfield, he's got a man! At the 35, the catch is made, and Johnny Jones falls down at the 32.
Remember, Johnny Jones has not been a wide receiver very long, but having been a cornerback and defensive back, he knows how to read those defenses, Doug, and did a great job finding that little caveat, little gap, and just camping down and finding a spot for making the catch.
25 yards on the game, 1st and 10. They need another big one here. Quickly, because only a minute 35 left in this game. Barrow back to throw. Out pattern to Jones, incomplete. Johnny Jones coming back to the huddle says, hold it down. A little lower. A couple of seniors communicating there, Barrow and Jones.
He had Fisher open in the intermediate route right in the middle on the seam. Didn't see him, was looked at Jones, and had he found Fisher, it would have been at least a 1st down, but stops the clock, incomplete.
That's important. A minute 32 to go in the game. 2nd down, 10 from the 33. Barrow back to throw, 5-man rush again. Short route again, threw it in on an out pattern. Fisher curled out, the pass went in and falls incomplete.
Doug, that looked to be a timing pattern, though. As he did his curl, he looked like he was heading up on a post pattern, and he just anticipated him being there a little sooner than he was, because as you saw Fisher, as he ran that curl, he was heading up the field. So probably just a timing route that was just a bit off.
So 3rd down and 10 from the 33. Only 5 ticks off the clock that last time. They have a minute 27 left right there. Barrow with 3 receivers out. 4-man rush. There is Moses. Splits a couple of tacklers in between the 30 to the 29 and a timeout. No, they're going to have to crank the clock back up, the official says. We need to crank it back up. Mistake made by the official. He was looking at the wrong flag, he says. Gain of 3, make it 4. It's 4th down and 6. Good closure by the defense. Excellent job by Bean. So 4th down, and will they go for it? Yes. Taking a long time to decide whether they wanted a field goal to go for it, and they still haven't decided.
Wow.
Still haven't decided. 6 seconds on the play clock. 5, 4, 4th down and 6. That's the touchdown right there that was earlier. Stampley gets it and is knocked down at the 15-yard line for a 1st down with 39 seconds to go on the clock. 15 yards on the game.
Stampley a little gimpy that time, and Moses on the last tackle, he was a little shaky, and looks like these hits are starting to take their toll on the Kittens just when they need them. It's 39 ticks to go, Doug.
Yeah, not much time. They're going to have to get something fast because the clock's now running. Barrow under center, taking his time. 30 seconds on the game clock. Eye backfield, fakes the pitch. Look in, Plummer, incomplete. Boy, what a hit. Brandon Gilmore got there as soon as the ball did. Pow!
Yeah, he comes up and makes that hit, and that was a timely hit, just knocking the ball away in 25 seconds, but uses up a down.
25 seconds to go, 2nd down and 10 at the 16. If they expect to win this game, they're going to have to do something quickly and then get the ball back on an onside kick. They still have one. Nope, they don't have any. The Kittens have no timeouts remaining. Barrow lined up with an eye backfield behind him. Pumps going into the end zone. Did he get it? Yes, touchdown they say, Alton Fisher. The ball came loose, but the official calls a TD. They got it quick.
A little toss right in the corner of the end zone, and Barrow delivered it just when it needed to be over the outstretched hands of the defensive back.
Nice floater.
Little flip right here, and wow, he reached back, just couldn't reach the corner of the end zone. That was a touchdown.
Good call. The Haynesville folks on the near side don't agree, but that's the right call. And the extra point is up and good. 21 seconds to go in this game. The Golden Tornadoes hanging on by a 24-21 count. Here in this Class 1A state championship game in the Nokia Sugar Bowl Prep Classic. Hello.
There's the faithful there.
Golden Tornadoettes, is that what they call it? I don't know.
This is the most points, 21 points Southern Lab has put up today, the most points scored on Haynesville this entire season.
Yeah. And here's the onside kick attempt. Marcus Spears will be the one to kick it. The other 10 are on the other side of the field. Everybody up close except for one for Haynesville. The official waiting until everybody's ready. Now they're ready to go. That is not Spears, but someone else to kick it, and it belongs to Haynesville. Darrell Hurst was the man that made the onside kick attempt. And so now with 18 seconds to go, all the Golden Tornado have to do is take a knee and kill this one, and Haynesville calls a timeout with 18 seconds to go on the scoreboard clock in this ball game. Tornado faithful ready to celebrate their 11th state title under Red Franklin.
You know, what a credit goes to Southern Lab offensively, as in 14 outings, Haynesville defense only allowed 33 points total. Southern Lab putting up 21 points in just one contest. Some pretty smiles.
Yeah.
Happy. Hey, Mom, I'm up on the screen. Look at me.
I'm on the screen. Look how cute. Oh, that's not cute. Sorry. 1st and 10. Golden Tornado, all they have to do is take a knee to end this one, because the Kittens of Southern Lab have no timeouts left in this 1A state championship game. Red Franklin about to win his 11th state title as a coach. This will be the 14th state title in Haynesville history, going all the way back to 1924. In that ace position now, they call it. Taking a knee, and that'll be it. And the celebration begins with 10 seconds on the clock. This was an excellent ball game. That's it. Only a field goal separated these two teams. By the time the final seconds ticked off the clock, only one field goal separated the two, and that was that impressive field goal by Langford from 37 yards away. That kid really kicked well.
Well, Eric Randall, certainly you hear from him again. Young coach, young coaching staff, got a good bunch of players on this team, and he played a lot of players, so that wealth of experience will certainly be utilized next year.
But think about all those underclassmen, like you said, that he played. My goodness. Freshmen, and a lot of freshmen that he played. Yeah, there's a lot of seniors across the front line on defense. It's nothing but seniors, but they got a bunch of kids that are playing. Sophomores and freshmen, and very impressive.
Defensive backfield returns quite a few.
Yeah. What's impressive also is what the Golden Tornadoes have done since Red Franklin has been coach. The first championship that the Golden Tornadoes were able to claim was 1970, and they've done it 11 times since then. When you think about all the things that have happened in the series between these two teams, that is something we didn't get to talk about. These two teams did meet for a state championship back in 1984. Haynesville playing Southern Lab then. And Red Franklin was the coach. They were meeting for the 1A state championship. And it was an 11-8 victory by Haynesville, and they do it again today. Let's go down to the field for the post-game festivities.
Dealers, Mr. Greg Waddell. He is accompanied by State Farm agent Gene Coleman of Homer. State Farm Agent Bob Bolton of Gramercy, State Farm Agent Dalton LeBlanc of Houma, and State Farm Agent Field Executive Robert England of Baton Rouge. The first award, presented by State Farm Agent Bob Bolton, accompanied by State Farm Agent Dalton LeBlanc, is the Class 1A State Farm Runner-Up Trophy and individual awards to Southern Lab High School, Head Coach Eric Randall, Principal Miss Brenda Sterling. Let's have a big round of applause for the Southern Lab Jaguar Kittens, the 2000 runner-up, Class 1A. The next award, presented by State Farm Agent Dalton LeBlanc, is the State Farm Outstanding Player Award for Southern Lab High School, as selected by the working media. The outstanding player for Southern Lab, number 2, Terrence Moses. The next award is the Baden Official Game Ball, presented by Southern Quality Ford Dealers. Representing the Southern Quality Ford Dealers, Mr. Greg Waddell. The game ball goes to Haynesville head coach Red Franklin. The next award is the State Farm Outstanding Player Award for Haynesville High School, as selected by the working media. Presenting the award on behalf of State Farm is Agency Field Executive Robert England of Baton Rouge. The outstanding player for Haynesville High School, number 22, Cardo B. The final award, presented by State Farm Agent Gene Coleman of Homer, Louisiana, is the Class 1A State Farm LHSAA State Championship Trophy to the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes. Head Coach Red Franklin, Principal Kenneth Henderson. Once again, the Louisiana High School Athletic Association would like to thank the Nokia Sugar Bowl, Southern Quality Ford Dealers, and State Farm Insurance for their continued support of high school athletics in Louisiana. Stick around for the Class 4A championship game between the John Curtis Christian Patriots and the Salmon Spartans.
The final count Haynesville with a big win, 24-21 over Southern Lab. Doug Joubert, Renee Nadeau here at the Superdome. And boy, it was a tale of two halves. It was a 14-0 lead for Haynesville at the halftime. They had, halftime stats, according to them, 143 yards for Haynesville, 39 for Southern Lab. And then in the second half, Haynesville piles up only another 150 more, but Southern Lab ends up with 282 yards total offense in the game.
That's unbelievable, Doug, and it was a tale of two halves. And I don't know if it was just the intimidation of being in the big game. Of course, Haynesville defense, they shut out 10 opponents, and a lot to do with that. Southern Lab made some great adjustments with their great athletes and came roaring back and made this quite a game, a 3-point advantage for Haynesville. They capture the single A state championship title, but boy, what a game it was.
Barrow gets 12 for 29, 147 yards and 2 touchdowns, and all of that, just about all of it, coming up in the second half.
And I like his style. He's going to be a great quarterback at the next level. Remember, he's a great baseball player. But Southern Lab, with all those super athletes, just fell a little short to Red Franklin as he captures state title number 11. What a great job he's done.
Wow, it's all like Green Bay. There he goes, Red. His 11th state title, the 14th in the school's history. The final score, Haynesville 24, Southern Lab 21 for the 1A state championship in the Nokia Sugar Bowl Prep Classic.